A few months ago, I was working on a design project. Nothing special, a short video for a client, the kind of job that used to take me a full day to finish. Storyboard, source images, animate each frame, sync it, fix it, render it, send it. That day, I tried a new AI workflow, just to see. 2 hours later, it was done. And I sat there, staring at the screen, thinking two things at the same time. First thought, this is incredible. Second thought, someone just lost their job because of this. Maybe a lot of someone's. Maybe me, eventually. My name is not important. You can call me Neo. I am not an economist. I am not a tech expert. I am not here to sell you a course about surviving the AI revolution. I am just a regular person, working in design and video, watching AI eat through my industry one workflow at a time, and trying to figure out what any of this actually means. And the question I keep coming back to, the one I think about at 2 a.m. more than I want to admit, is the same one you probably Googled before you found this video. Will AI take your job? Here is what I found out. And I'm going to give you the honest answer, not the comfortable one. The numbers first, because they matter. In 2025, companies in the United States cited AI as the reason for 54,436 job cut announcements, according to Challenger, Gray & Christmas, the firm that has tracked U.S. layoffs for decades. That number is already growing. In March 2026 alone, AI was cited for 15,341 job cuts in a single month, which made it the leading single reason for layoffs that month. 25% of all cuts in 1 month. Amazon eliminated 14,000 corporate roles. Workday cut 1,750 jobs. Both said the same thing. AI lets us do more with fewer people. And they are not wrong. That is the part that is hard to argue with. But here is what the headlines leave out. Goldman Sachs estimates that AI could automate tasks accounting for 25% of all work hours in the United States. Not 25% of jobs, 25% of the hours inside those jobs. There is a difference, and that difference is where most people's fear is coming from a slightly wrong place. Because the real story is not that AI is deleting jobs like files on a hard drive. The real story is that AI is deleting tasks. And when enough tasks inside one job get deleted, the job itself quietly disappears. That is slower. It is subtler. And honestly, it is scarier. Because you do not see it coming the same way.
Let me show you what I mean with my own work. In design and video production, the tasks that AI has already taken over are the ones nobody loved doing anyway. Rotoscoping, manually animating frame by frame, searching through stock libraries for hours, writing first draft copy, resizing assets for 17 different formats. Those tasks used to fill entire junior roles, entry-level positions that existed specifically because someone had to do the boring parts before the creative parts could happen. Those roles are not being announced as layoffs. They are simply not being hired for anymore, which is a much quieter way for a job to stop existing. And design is not even close to the most exposed field. U.S. Office and Administrative Support has the highest task automation share at 46%, according to analysis from early 2026. Legal roles sit at 44%, architecture and engineering at 37%. Paralegals face an 80% automation risk. Medical transcription is already 99% automated. Gone, without a press release. The World Economic Forum identifies bank tellers, data entry clerks, cashiers, postal clerks, and administrative assistants as the fastest declining roles between 2025 and 2030. These are not fringe jobs. These are how millions of people pay the rent. So what is actually safe? Let me be direct about this, because a lot of people are getting this wrong, in both directions. Physical work that requires real-time adaptability is still safe. Not because AI cannot learn physical tasks, but because putting AI into a physical body that can navigate real environments is a different and much harder problem. Plumbers, electricians, HVAC technicians, tradespeople of all kinds. 94% of construction companies are already reporting difficulty finding workers. AI cannot snake a drain. Not yet. Roles that require genuine accountability are also still safe. When something goes wrong, in a hospital, in a courtroom, in a company, someone human needs to be responsible. AI cannot be sued. AI cannot testify. AI cannot look a client in the eye and make a call. And roles that require emotional intelligence in unpredictable human situations. Therapists, teachers who can read a room, crisis counselors, the people who handle the messy, unscripted parts of human life. AI is good at patterns. Human beings in distress are not always patterns. But here is the part that I think about most, because it applies to me directly. Workers with demonstrable AI skills now earn 56% more with peers in identical roles without those skills, according to PwC's 2025 Global AI Jobs Barometer. 56%. Not a small bump, a completely different income bracket, for doing essentially the same job with better tools. I felt that personally. When I started using AI in my design workflow, I did not lose work. I started taking on more work than I could have handled before, in less time, at a better margin.
The job did not disappear, it transformed. And the version of the job that came out the other side paid better. That is not a guarantee. That is not the experience everyone is having. But it is a real possibility that most people are not treating seriously enough. The uncomfortable math looks like this. The WEF projects 92 million jobs displaced globally by 2030 and 170 million new jobs created, a net gain of 78 million roles. Sounds great on paper. Except the 92 million jobs that disappear and the 170 million that get created are not the same jobs, in the same places, requiring the same skills. The gap in between is where careers quietly end, without anyone making an announcement about it. And right now, the speed of AI is moving significantly faster than the speed of human adjustment. IBM estimated that 1.4 billion workers globally would need to reskill by 2028. The actual number completing any AI training in 2025 was 58 million. That is about 4% of the people who need to adapt actually doing something about it.
I want to say something that I do not think gets said enough in these conversations. The fear is valid. Not irrational, not overblown, valid. When I watched AI animate an image sequence in minutes that used to take a junior designer a full day, my first reaction was not excitement. It was a quiet, uncomfortable feeling about the person who no longer has that work to do. That feeling should not be dismissed. Real disruption is happening to real people right now. In journalism alone, more than 3,400 jobs were cut across the US and UK in 2025. The Washington Post cut more than 300 of its 800 journalists. These are not abstract numbers. And 41% of employers globally say they plan to use AI to reduce headcount. Nearly half. This is not a distant scenario. It is already the plan. But I also want to say this. The same PwC data that shows the wage gap between AI skilled and AI unskilled workers also shows something else. Industries with higher AI adoption are seeing productivity growth rates 4 times higher than less AI-intensive sectors. 4 times. That is not marginal. That is transformation. And transformation, historically, creates more opportunity than it destroys, even when the transition is painful. The question is not whether your industry will be transformed. It will. Every industry will. The question is whether you are in the transformation or waiting outside while it happens. I think about that afternoon in my studio a lot. 2 hours to finish a project that used to take a full day. I could have been threatened by that. I could have ignored it. I could have argued about whether AI-assisted work is real creative work, which is a conversation that is happening and is slightly missing the point. Instead, I asked, what do I do with the 6 hours I just got back? And the answer to that question is where the real opportunity lives. Will AI take your job? Probably not tomorrow. But someone who knows how to use AI might take it within the next few years. And the difference between those two scenarios is entirely within your control. That is either the most terrifying thing you have heard today or the most useful. I sat in front of my screen that afternoon feeling both at the same time. And then I got back to work.